In this installment of Moose Lake School Superintendent Tim Caroline's recent discussion on the sexual abuse he suffered at the hands of a Catholic clergyman, he talks about how he came to the realization he had to seek justice not only for himself, but for many other survivors who'd suffered the same abuse at the hands of this same individual.
It was very interesting. We talked for quite a long time, and he just said, this is crazy. He said, I've interviewed quite a few victims or survivors, depending on how you want to look at it. And it's the same story. You guys don't know each other. And he said, it's almost identical stories what this guy did. And, the same things. And so we did a lot of talking, and I, said, well, is there, anything else, I can do to help out or whatever. And he just said, well, I asked a couple legal questions about, statute of limitations, and that's kind of, it's all over. This pedophile has got off. He's still, no action has been taken other than to remove him from kids. So right now he is stationed a block away from a school. Real smart. But anyway, as we started to talk, he said, he told me what he's doing, and that there's a lot of others that have come forward. I think there's probably close to 20 of us now that have come forward that this, guy molested. And if there's 20, you know that there are a lot more that haven't come forward yet. And, in talking to the attorney, I was just very, very impressed. Well, he just said, you could be not a spokesperson, but you can make a difference in bringing this forward. And especially in my position as a superintendent, it's not like I'm on a pedestal or anything like that, 'cause I'm sure not. But there comes with the position, there's something that people, will listen. And I thought, as a teacher at heart still, even though I'm in administration, if our goal as teachers is to keep kids safe, and if I can do anything to help kids or adults come to grips with what happened to them, or prevent, obviously, that this shouldn't happen to another kid, I was more than willing to do that. And so, again, I guess I was there, and happy to do that. The case is actually a fraud case, which is an interesting twist, because the statute of limitations has expired on the offender. He is not going to get charged. And so right now, there's so many people out there where obviously in my boat, where you just have harbored these things for a number of years, and many have not come to that point in their life where they can share, talk about it, and it's after 30, 40 years, all of a sudden you can start dealing with some of these things. And so the firm that I have is the Jeff Anderson Law Firm, who incidentally is the law firm that had the paperwork that connected the case in Milwaukee, where a priest molested 200 deaf kids at a school here, and connected him to the current pope. And so he is handling that case. So mine is minuscule compared to that one, but I feel I'm in good legal hands there. And my whole intent of joining in the lawsuit was obviously not for money, and that's where I was very impressed with the attorney. On the phone, when I was asking him, my next steps, he said, if you're in this for the money, we're not going to represent you. just flat out. And I said, well, I like that. That's good. He said, we are doing these lawsuits to bring about a change and to draw attention to an evil thing that is going on still and that happened for many of years with no accountability on the organization. And so I was, I felt that's good, because all through this time I had never ever intended of filing a lawsuit, and bad things happen, and I've never been one to ever file a lawsuit for any reason. And so that was good, and I liked their mission of just bringing, keeping kids safe. I mean, that's what I've dedicated my life to, and so I said, definitely I would like you to represent me. And so the fraud now is that they, and at this point in time, during our conversation, I still, with this attorney, I was still thinking about this John Doe, and they're just getting information from me. Still at that point in time, had no intention of filing a lawsuit. Then he told me, well, you do know that they knew this guy was a pedophile years before he molested you. And I didn't. And so that was the rude awakening. I've always heard that, they move these priests around from place to place, and never put two and two together that that's what happened here. All these John Does, myself included, should never have been molested. Somebody dropped the ball. And so at that point, there was another little part of my journey was this feeling like, how could that have happened?
For the Moosetown Crier, I'm Paul Staub.